Hi, this is Kathy DeHart with DeHart Construction Services, located right here in the Inland Empire. You know, we're a family-owned business, and today our youngest member of our family is visiting. Kinsey, can you say hi?
Hi.
Now, Kinsey, I have an important question for you. Where do you think food comes from?
A market store?
You're right. But before it gets to a market, we have farmers and dairies and all kinds of other people who make food. Do you remember hearing that?
Uh-huh.
And then we have people who have to keep the food cold.
And guess what?
What?
I remember we getting strawberries at a little market.
Well, Papa and I, we work with companies that make food and keep food cold and gets it to the grocery stores.
That's cool.
DCS is a proud supporter of the American Dream. For all of your cold storage or food facility needs, visit our website at chillwithdheart.com. Once again, chillwithdheart.com. Serving all of California, CSLB 949062.
What's up?
What's going on, everybody? That was weird. That's the first time I could see myself the whole time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I could see myself during the whole. Could you guys see the commercial and all that stuff?
Yeah.
That was weird. Hopefully they just weren't watching me the whole time because I could just see myself the whole time. But anyways, welcome everybody to a special edition of Legs of War Room. It's special because God is with us every day. So what we're going to do a quick recap of what happened during the week. We got so much going on, from events this weekend to what happened this past weekend, from what's going on in the school boards and what's going on in politics in general. So let's get started, you guys. We have our producer, our famous producer, Alfred. We love that. Hey, bro, I love that hat, bro.
Right? Look at this.
When I first seen it, I was like, I don't know. But now that I see it on like a dude, I'm like, I like it. I actually like it. And the founder of Legsit, Jesse Holguin, straight from Fox News, straight from the hot seat. You know what I mean? Not ducking from the curveball, not ducking. So, all right, let's dig into it, you guys. I want to get the event out of the way. So we have an event this weekend. It's hosted by Legsit tomorrow. Dang, tomorrow came quick, huh? It's hosted by Legsit, also Calvary Chapel, South Los Angeles, right? And it's in South Los Angeles, correct? So we're teaming up with them, and I think this event is so special. So Jess, tell everybody what's going on in detail, what we're going to have out there for the kids.
Yeah, shout out to Calvary Chapel, South LA. They're the good pastor right there, David Trujillo. He was even with us in Washington. He's a patriot. He's a great pastor. But Calvary, they usually stand out more than other churches and stand up to the wrongs and things like that. But shout out to them. But yeah, we're having a Christmas event. We're going into the hood. We're going into the barrio in South Central LA. We're going to go out there. And right now, as we speak, the ladies from Legsit Little Helpers, they're making some tamales right now. So all the girls from Legsit are together. They're making tamales and cookies and good stuff like that. So we're going to have tamales passing out, and churros, and passing out toys. And we're going to have pony rides. And we have like a train that rides around the kids and stuff like that. And we might have a foam thing that shoots out foam. It looks like snow or whatever. We might. I'm not sure if we have it up, but still, it's going to be a blessed time. So anybody that's in the area, come out. If you want to help us, come on out. You can help us pass out the stuff, or else come out and bring your kids. Have your kids come get a toy. And then also the most important thing is we're going to be sharing the gospel too. So they're going to be getting the gospel too. Because you know that Jesus is the reason for the season.
Amen. 100%, man. We have the LA chapter coming out. Alfred's a chapter president over there. We got San Diego. We got everybody coming out. And like Jess said, what makes this different than any other event that we're having is not only do we want the community to see that conservatives do exist, especially minority conservatives, but we want them to see God inside of us. So when people see God, you're led by God, and they see you're honest. Because I know a lot of people have a bad perception about Christians or just believers, because they're like, oh yeah, they're fake. They act one way and they do another thing. And sad to say, the church has kind of lost its way, because now you see all these other groups going into the communities, and the church hardly does that anymore. Remember the old days where the church used to go with the bullhorn, knocking on doors and doing all that? It seems like those days have kind of ended, and that's so sad, because
the Jehovah's Witnesses took that over.
The Jehovah's Witnesses took it over, And how many times do you remember? I remember being as a kid because I was a church boy growing up. I remember going to revivals and remember souls being saved, hearing testimonies, people crying out, coming to their fences, and then praying for them. And that's what needs to happen. We need to go out there to the community and we need to show Christ inside of us. We're expecting everybody just to turn on the lights of the church and we're like, oh, they'll come. People don't know they need God a lot of the times. They know they're searching for something, and we're the ones with the answer. We're the ones that have the answer. We have Christ inside of us. And how are they supposed to see us? The Bible says, go ye therefore to all nations, right? Not, hey, turn on the lights of the church and hope they show up. So I love what we're doing this weekend because it's Christ-centered. It's Christ in the middle, at the center of everything. And I'm excited about it. I know a lot of kids are going to come. I'm excited for the children. It's a memory they can build, with their families and just, at a church. I remember going to that church. That's a memory they're going to have. So, Alfred, what do you think about it?
Definitely. I think that's one of the things that the chat room is going off the hook. I want to give a huge shout out to Mark Perez, who's paying close attention over at the YouTube channel. Grace Yanis from the Lexit, she's saying hi, Lexit fam. Also, Mary Van Horn, she says, right, evil has ruined people, and that's right. One of the things that we're called to do is we're called to be the light, and so for that matter, the church. And somewhere or another, just because we jump into the COVID and we're not doing our thing, but you know what? There's churches out there, just like Calvary Chapel is doing their thing. They're creating these events that are environmentally friendly for the family, and of course, making sure that everybody's staying safe under the guise of being safe. But at the same time, man, we need to do this. The church is called to be. We're already part of the community, so now let's get out of the four walls and let's go out and just share some love, share some toys. And let's come together and really just celebrate, Jesus, because that's the reason for the season.
Amen. Right. And it seems like that conservatives, Republicans, whatever you want to call it, they shy away from going to the hood, to the ghettos, and like that. And I think that it's good that we could do it. Lexi can do it because a lot of us are from the hood, so we go back to the hood, and it's good because a lot of them, all in the hood like that, they have a stereotype that Republicans are just rich whites and all that. So they need to see us out there, a bunch of Latinos out there. We're conservative, and not only we're conservative, right? They're giving them toys, giving them food, having a great old time. That's what they need to see. And they're going to be like, wow, they're not all racist, or wow, they're not all with the left and the fake media or whatever. Because, Latino, we grow up automatically a lot of times thinking we're Democrats, us and blacks, eh? So we need to start killing that narrative. And then even those little kids or whatever, they're gonna be like you said, they're gonna know, oh, we got that toy from Lexit or whatever, that's cool. And then later when they're growing up and they say, yeah, the conservatives or this and that, they'll be like, what? They were cool. I met them. They gave me Christmas present. They were nice.
That's exactly
talking about Jesus. That's what we need to do.
That's exactly it. You ever meet a real person? Because I work with a lot of dudes at my work. And there's a lot of real homies, right? And they'll say it like the minute you try to talk about somebody, they'll be like, nah, that fool's always been good to me, or nah. These people have always been good to me, or nah, don't disrespect that church. They were there for me. People that have respect and people that live by a moral compass will always respect other people that did right by them, right? So when we're showing Christ, people are going to remember that. One day they're going to be like, I know you're talking about conservatives, but I remember that one conservative group that did show God and that did it. So I don't know about those other ones, but this one was, right? So yeah, we're going to have a fun time. If you guys are in the area, you guys don't have to be, if you guys have kids or whatever, just want to say what's up to the Lexit fam, go to wearelexit.com. We should have the flyer on there, and go to Lexit Movement on Instagram, and it'll show the flyer, show the location. Show up, pop.
Yeah, that's Calvary Chapel, South LA. I'm gonna be there. A-Rod's gonna be there. The whole Lexit crew is gonna be there, so you could come out, meet us all, hang with us. But like I said, it's more. I think the conservatives need to do more of this. It's just too bad that Lexit, we're the only ones doing this. Like, I see a lot of conservative organizations and movements, they always have like little gatherings or events, and every time, because I've been to a lot of them, I've even spoken at a lot of them, and they just do, mostly it seems like they're just preaching to the choir. Like, they have these events every single person in the audience and all that, they're already all conservatives. They're not moving the aisle at all, and that's what we're not trying to do. That Lexit, we're trying to
Right.
reach Latinos that ain't conservative. We're trying to show them, getting them to switch. So I just feel I wish
Well, you know,
that more people would wake up.
it's crazy, Jess, because if you're like the RNC, and not to bash the RNC or anything, but like they just got a stigma, right? So like imagine the RNC and they had like all these tamales and they were actually trying to do something for the Latino community. It's kind of like setting up a trap for something, right? And then you're sitting there and then somebody has food for you and they're like, come in. And then you're like scared to go in the trap because they might shut the doors on you. That's the way people feel about the RNC, right? They'll see something, even if they do have a Christmas party or something, everybody's like, I'm not trusting. They might shut the doors and something might happen. So it's sad to say that, but it's because our own faults at times. Conservatives don't go out, don't accept the olive branch. And me and Jess were talking about that. It's good to be transparent. And we're going to get into what's going on during the weekend. This is a good segue. It's always good to be transparent, right? We have our favorite politicians. We like them, but it's always good to call out somebody's wrong. If you see McCarthy doing something wrong, you're like, hey, because the other side looks at people like Lexit, and the reason why they like groups like us is because we're not biased. If we see our favorite politician on this side do something foul, we're like, yeah, we like you, but and you too, right? So that's just a note, because I always hear Republicans, if you guys are watching, people from the RNC, if you guys are watching, and I think you were on a show before, Jess, where you were like, it's both, and people are like, no, it's no, you know what I mean? They're trying to give you pushback on, just different stuff. It's both, you know what I mean, at times. So we need to be transparent, and that's what we're doing here at Lexit. We're not saying, vote Republican, everybody show up, get a toy. We're like, Jesus loves you. Vote with your godly moral values, like Jess said on Fox last night, and you can make an educated decision. Vote on your godly moral values, and we're going to end up giving it to you. So speaking of godly moral values, and we'll talk about something happened with Kirk Cameron this week in the library, right? I mean, for the life of me, I don't get it. And not that I don't get what's going on. I just don't get, where are the Christians at? Where's all the people that are posting? They should see that and they should be screaming to high heaven, but it seems like everybody's focused on midterms, and everybody's focused on the latest candidate, and everybody's focused on going to the latest little events that are happening with conservatives. And it's like, dude, this dude came to the library and said, hey, I got a godly book, right? And I want to preach Christ. And they were like, nah, we're not interested in that. But we have an agenda. We're pushing this book, but we're going to have to decline on yours. And everybody just sitting there going, well, are you surprised? Or they're just staying silent because they're not trying to have that fight. But the fight against good versus evil is the only fight that really we're having right now. It really is. It's God, and then it's the devil, and it's whose side are you backing? And that's the fight that we're having. And I think that when people don't get engaged, where you're not standing for the things of God, what are you really fighting for? You're gonna lose. Like if you're not saving people, how do you expect them to make right moral decisions? They're not. You have to push Christ so that they can be touched by the Holy Spirit or touched by anything and make those decisions. There's no other way, right? So you guys go ahead and chime in on this.
Yeah, and it's more crazy is that at the same place where they didn't allow him to show his books or whatever about God, they had drag queen story hour there. So they let it was totally fine to have drag queen story hour there, but you can't have books that talk about God. And it just shows this leftist evil. That's why I always say it's not even about Republican versus Democrats. Like everyone was saying, it's good versus evil. The other side that what we're up against is just pure evil, that it's even sad that we even have to talk about that they're trying to take. You can't have a book with God in there. It just shows what evil last days that we're in. But like everyone said too, that where's all the pastors at? All the pastors should be out protesting and bashing and all kinds of stuff. Where are they all at? It's like everybody's all scared of the alphabet mafia or whatever. They're scared of the to be called, that you don't like them or whatever. They're all just all scared. And see, that's what they want. It's working what they want to do, but we won't ever be. And we call out truth all the time.
I think for the most part, Jess and A-Rod, we're going. There's a transition phase right now, right? I think one of the things that we're looking at is the cultural change, as we say, right? There's things that are happening outside of the church culturally that is actually projecting the evilness, meaning like everything that you
Right.
see now is actually being projected as, right now, if we all pay attention, they call the good, they call the good bad and the bad good. You know what I mean?
Right.
For example, we're backwards. So the cultural right now has shifted because of all like what you guys are talking about. This is what the culture is being programmed to do, to see. They see it through the news. They see it through everything that they're seeing right now, especially with this current administration, right? They're projecting, like for the most part. I mean, right now, a couple of days ago, and I'm not trying to jump off subject, we had President Biden again after the Obama, he went ahead and made the LGBT marriage legal. So now we're
Right.
redoing it again. So now you're kind of like, okay, so there's already a written, law. So why are we doing it? And we see this, the propagating of what? Of the shifting of because they know, people are up there in the administration, they know that primarily there's a good 70% of the United States that are predominantly Christian, meaning people with moral values. So therefore, they're doing everything they can using all their tentacles, meaning all the news outlets, to project what? What's evil. That's why you see right now the top levels in government, you see women and transgender, everything has to do with transgender, like Jesse mentioned, the Alphabet Mafia, the Rainbow Brigade, whatever it is. But right now they're projecting all that goes against the morality of the United States. So that's one of the reasons why the church and us as Lexit, it's time, we're going into the hoods and we're telling them
Well,
it's enough. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
you're spot on, Alfred. And I think it's time to reflect. And I know some people are gonna not agree with me, but I think it's time to reflect, because what ends up happening, and I said it before, and I know I'm pissing people off right now,
Oh
is
yeah.
you have a certain group that, like Jess said, you have a certain group that their narrative, and we've gotten far from keeping our eyes on God and His ways,
Exactly.
and we've kind of made politicians our God and their platform. And when a politician comes out and they says, "This is my more morals," and this is funny, when they come out and say, "This is my moral standards," and we go, "Well, that doesn't line up with God's." But okay, I mean, we don't got a better option, right? Like, you're it. So we've shifted, right? God's still over there, right? And then we're like, cool, we're with you. And all of a sudden he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go to this group. We're like, don't do that. But hey, whatever. We don't got anybody better. And we go. By the time you know it, we're sitting over here on a side that we weren't, like Jess says, we weren't years ago. And we've locked arms with certain people that are, I hate to say it, are sinners that are okay being sinners. Not, and they don't have any plans on changing. They're like, God is accepting me this way. Some of the outfit people. And I think Christians need to really stop and think about this. Just imagine. Now I don't know what God's thinking, but I'm just going off of what's on the Word of God. If God says, pray, seek my face, seek me, pray, keep my standards, holy, keep my holy ways, and I'm gonna send the Alphabet Conservative group to help you out. Do you think that's what he's really saying? And I think the reason why I say this, because it's not specifically them, it's just us in general. I guarantee you, anybody that thinks that okay is not fasting, is not praying, is not reading the Word, is not digging into the Word, keeping themselves accountable. Jess has always kept me accountable and said, hey, bro, we talk about these things all the time, because sin should make you feel uncomfortable. It really should. It should make you, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not talking just down here just on that, but I'm talking about where we've shifted. So everything is revolved around where people's morality is, because we're only strong as our representation and as our team, right? We, like I said, we didn't vote for Joe Biden and all them. So you're looking at your team and you're like, well, I know why we're losing, because what do we really stand for anymore? Like, what are we? So now I watch us, Lexit, gravitating towards Christians. I'm watching it, bro. In the last 6 months, I've sat there and said, we're gravitating to more churches. We're Lexit as a group. We're gravitating to more godly people, because we realize we're not as Republican as we thought we were. Even though we do vote Republican, but we call ourselves independents or conservatives, we don't identify with that as much anymore, because their pillars have changed. So I'm proud of Lexit. I'm proud that Jesse says, look at, we're Biblicans. When Jess said that, I sat back and I thought to myself, this is where God has me. Because to put myself in a group that doesn't align with God all the time, I can't do that. So when you vote your godly moral values, at times you're going to be outside the box, and that's okay. Because at the end of the day, when you're standing before him, it's just going to be you and him. It's going to be you and him and Trump. It's going to be you and him and McCarthy, whoever else. It's going to be you and him. So this whole journey has brought me closer to God and maybe a little bit away from politics in general, like of just seeing and going with the narrative and not being a sheep on both ends. That's okay, you guys. And I think these are the comfortable conversations we need to have moving forward, because this world is only getting more wicked, right?
Yeah, you can't even watch the Disney Channel. But also, Alfred and the team went out to Long Beach. They went out there with Pastor
How's
James
dope.
Kadish. They were out there because they're trying to put up another Planned Parenthood in the school. They had tried this a few months back in Norwalk, and then we showed up like 300 deep and we stopped it. So now they're trying to put a new Planned Parenthood in Long Beach College. But go ahead, Alfred, what you see over there?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we actually were there. There was approximately 30 different members that came out. They were from people from church. Actually, big shout out to Pastor James Cadiz from Calvary Chapel, Signal Hill. He was out there. He was speaking truth. Actually, he was the 10th member to go ahead and give a little speech. And unfortunately, they shut down the speech at the 10th. It's kind of like they knew Pastor James Kadish was about to go up and talk, and they automatically shut it down. I think Brother Albert from the Lexit chapter was the last one to speak in behalf of this. As you all know, Governor Newsom has implemented the goons. I call them and forgive me, that he's implementing these policies that every high school must have a wellness center, a health wellness center. Now we look at the health wellness center, some of the services. So you start asking yourself, what are they going to start providing? What kind of services are they going to be providing our kids, especially at high school? Are they going to be providing them vitamins? Are they going to be providing them, something for growth? What are they that they're going to start, they're going to start to provide? And listen, that's one of the things that they want to do on implementing these health wellness centers. They want to provide services, and they're not being clear with the community or the parents in regards to what they're going to be offering. So, for example, if let's say a contracted vendor like Planned Parenthood decides to go in there and say, hey, Long Beach or whatever, or Unified School District, whatever it is, because it's going to be implemented in every single Unified School District in California per Governor Newsom. So if Planned Parenthood goes in there and says, I want to start promoting some of our stuff for Plan B. This is the contraceptives for young people. Can you imagine now if they start implementing services as abortions without, and now look at how it's playing out. It's playing out in a sense where they're implementing these laws like SB 1184 that remove parental rights from the health. Think about it. A kid can't drink, right, until he's 21. He can't drink alcohol until he's 21. He can't smoke a cigarette until he's 18. But listen, through these policies that this party is allowing through the governor, now parents are going to be removed from the parental rights to have these life-changing surgeries, meaning like you're going to be able to remove body parts, breasts, and all these other other parts from your body. And you parents are not going to have nothing to say on the matter, because guess what? Now it's through SB 1184. Guess what's happening? They're removing that. They can't provide you any information. This is something that they're allowing through the policies. So this is a danger move. Yeah, go ahead.
That you're spot on, and it's tricky how they do it. See, this is the problem that we're at, because I work with a lot of guys that are on the left, right? This is what they do. The minute you tell them something, they always go like this. Ay, Antonio, why do you have to take everything to extremes? It's not that bad, because they're uneducated, right? They don't know what's really going on. So the left does this, and they're good at it. They'll say stuff like this. A child is able to make their own choices at 14 years old, correct, right? And they're like, well, okay, it's not that big of a deal. And once they get that passed, Then they push all the stuff that they're pushing, like Planned Parenthood. And they've always done this first, and then here comes the goodies afterwards, and it's too late. Planned Parenthood's going to start off like this. Watch. They're going to say, okay, you got STD? We got something that might treat it, right? You got this? You want condoms? Okay. This is what the left does. This is what the devil does all the time. Reward sin. Reward bad behavior. You did something bad? We got you. They don't. This is what the left does. Us good citizens that work hard, we get no tax breaks. We don't get no help. But people that don't want a job, guess what? We'll give you everything in the world. You sinning? Go ahead. Guess what? We'll help you out. We'll get rid of that sin. You don't like that baby? We'll get rid of it. You got a disease? We'll help you out too. You can live your life however you want. But the people that are living it good, guess what? You're the ones being punished because that's the way it works. And I think that's where we need to, and I love that Lexa goes out there because it sheds a light on what the left is actually doing. And it's good to put them together, right? It's good to connect them. So all we got to do is say, this is what they're trying to do. If your kid shows up and has STD, they don't have to tell you. You're just coming home. You could want to treat your daughter or say, what the heck's going on? Outside of that, they could be on medication. And a lot of these medications have side effects. Teenage kids already have mood swings as it is. All of a sudden, in the room slamming the door, and you're like, the heck's going on? They're not even coming out talking to me. You don't know that they're on this medication that has all these side effects, and you could help them out. Praying for them, taking them to church. It's just all disgusting, and I'm just glad that Legs is showing up, shedding a light on it, and actually pushing back on what they're trying to do.
Yeah, that's good. You know how Lex it is. That's what we do. We're there, boots on the ground. We're out there making a difference. I just wish more conservatives would be out there doing it. Like I said, there's a lot of these organizations. It seems like they're just out for money. They're just out to get money from donors, and they don't even do nothing. I even ask, like, what is it that you guys actually do? Like, they don't do anything. Eh? They just, but we're out there making a difference.
Right.
And they get it, and that's one of the things. One of the things that we need to start waking up the communities in regards to these services is the way they're being presented. The way it's being presented. You know, it has a nice poppy, catchy name. Health Wellness Center, right? Because they catch it.
You wait for what Children's House?
Exactly. But yet again, when you start looking at who's funding it, who's sponsoring this stuff, then you start Planned Parenthood. Wait a minute. Well, what is the biggest what is the biggest service that Planned Parenthood does in wellness? Abortions. So that's one of the things that people and parents and people in schools need to wake up, and we need to go in there as people of faith. And Lexa, that's why we rolled in there with a good chunk of people in there, and they were like, "Whoa, what's going on here?" But alongside credit to Calvary Chapel, Signal Hill, that was out there with Pastor James Caddis. He was actually explaining to us why we need to go in there. He was giving us a little session on how to present. Because you got to understand, a lot of parents, we've never seen a school board. Some people never seen a school board. They don't even know that they exist, other than if I got to go to a parents' conference. But we know how it is, but we had new parents that were in there for the first time. So we're there having these discussions with them, telling them, hey, look, this is the way they're presenting it. We got to hear them out, because a lot of the things that they're proposing is stuff that they already got approved. Remember, 2 years ago, this was approved, but due to COVID, they stopped it. So now think about it. They're implementing it. It's actually approved now. So now what we got to do, we got to get them out. We need to go in there, awaken the giant, as we say, the parents, and start telling them for what it is. Pastor James Caddis told us he gave us some good insights in regards, like, we got to tell the facts. We got to tell them exactly what these health wellness centers do. They provide services, and it's not vitamins. It's services that actually only benefits that particular group, which is, I'm talking about, it's either for gender. Somebody said in the chat, sterilizations. That's right. It's it's
they're morning after pill. They're gonna give them they're gonna have the morning after pill.
Exactly. Sure. The puberty blockers. You know what I mean? They're giving them the Plan B. So they're providing all these. And can you imagine wellness? Is this to their wellness or actually to help them?
Kill babies.
Exactly. So we got to keep an eye as parents, and we need to show up.
Right, 100%, man. It's just crazy to me what's going on, and I think, when I say it's crazy to me what's going on, we know it's the end times. I think what bugs me out is that where's everybody at? Like,
Mm.
everybody's waiting for the next Trump rally. Is everybody waiting for the next Trump caravan? Like, is everybody waiting for? I don't get it.
It's true.
Like,
They're too much on Trump,
I
like you
don't get
said.
it.
That's what they're all waiting for. They're all just
I don't
he
get it.
makes everybody too complacent. And like you said, everybody's waiting on him to. What about all the other Republicans? What are they doing? Like, how come they ain't out there at the school board meetings or anything? You know what I mean? Like, where are you guys at? Like, they don't do anything.
What really upsets me, you guys, is that 39 Republicans actually approved for this marriage act, and that's
Yeah.
what ticked
Right.
me off. That's one of the things that really ticked me off, and the reason why is because if these 39 people, if the constituents of these 39 representatives that are, naming themselves Republicans, would have said something, would have sent a letter, would have said, "We're not for this. We're not for this." Listen, this marriage act wouldn't have passed. We wouldn't have had these issues. But guess what happened? I'm sorry to say it, we had the rhinos in there, and 39 of them just said, "Oh, we gotta bend the knee. We gotta do it for these people, for the marginalized, for the." I'm telling you, that's one of the things that Aaron, I like what you said right now. You said, till when us, the people of faith, need to stand in boldness and just call it what it is. You know what I mean? Call sin
Have
what it
to.
is. We
Because
have to, we must.
because what's going to end up happening, bro, this is what's going to end up happening. It's good. And like I said it before, and this is just something, and I hope this is something that God put in my heart. One day, when after the election, me and Jess were praying, and God said, hey, Anthony, no politician is going to come save you. What I want everybody to understand is when all options have failed and Trump's gone and everybody's sitting there, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here with my arms wide open. And then you're going to know that I'm the only one. I'm the only way. I'm the only path. And I seen it. So I seen it way there where everybody's still going, oh, we got to get this and things are going to change. And don't worry. And you brought up a good point. People don't know the way politics works. Okay, so Valadeo, let's talk about him. So he voted for this, right? People don't understand. Does Valadeo really actually probably wanted to vote? Maybe he didn't. His district is mostly centrist, right? It's a big Democratic district, right? So a lot of times it's playing politics. They're going to him and they're saying, hey, bud, we need to keep Kevin McCarthy in office. You got to bite the bullet on this one. And he's like, okay, here's your list of excuses. What does it really matter anyways? Say this. Government shouldn't be involved in this anyways. Say this, say that, say this, right? That's your excuses. Because pretty sure he got a pat on the back because it doesn't make sense to me. When Trump was in office, Valadeo voted almost 100% of the time with Trump. Then he votes to impeach him? What? That don't make sense at all. And then he turns around and votes and says again, because all of a sudden he gets redistricted. Kevin McCarthy gets all the Republicans, and he turns around and gets all the leftovers to keep him in office, and then he's got to take the bullet. Politics is so dirty that people need to open up their eyes a lot of the time and realize that everybody's just going, hey, bud, you got a job to play. He's silent. He's not a speaker. He's put in there just as a pawn. He's just sitting there going, okay, what else? What else? So we have all these rhinos that are in there doing the check mark. But like you said, constituents, who's holding them accountable? Who's writing letters to them? You know what everybody's doing? They're rhinos. They're rhinos. Don't worry. It's going to be better when Trump comes back. They're rhinos. They're rhinos. Kim McCarthy, we're going to act like he's not the person in charge because he's coming back. And it's the same thing it was in 2020. We're looking around. We're like, what has really changed? Nothing has really changed. The only thing that's changed is them. Our goalpost is being moved. We're not gaining no inches. They're gaining feet. They're gaining more and more, and we're compromising, and we're sitting here just going, man, it's like we're getting shoved in a corner with all the other believers. And that's what we're doing. We're just sitting there going, okay, we're with you guys, and we love you guys, and this is what we're going to stand for. And I'm just tired of playing politics. And I think I'm telling you, in this next year, it's going to come to the point, like Jess said, where it's going to be some of the influencers that we used to rub elbows with and are cool with are going to call us traitors because we're not doing what they want us to do, and they're saying what's best for the Republican Party. Because we're standing by our faith, they're going to look at us as traitors. They're going to look at us as sellouts. They're going to look at us as actually being a part of the Democratic side, but we're not. We're not. We're actually in prayer. We're actually listening to God. So I hope that people do, when they see this in the bigger picture, do think about it, because these are conversations I have with Jess sometimes, and he's told me, bro, it's gonna come to a point where even people that are friends are gonna look at us and be like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And you're gonna be like, "I have to vote my godly moral values. I have to side with the things of God. I can't. I'm sorry." And that's what it's gonna come down to one day. It is. That's what the future is.
Oh, but we just want to thank you guys. We just came out really quick. Aaron has an event to go to right now. He has to take his
Yeah.
daughter. We
My
just wanted
daughter wants to
come
go
on.
to a Christmas event, so I got
Yeah, so we just wanted to come on and wish everybody a Merry Christmas. Stay safe out there, and make sure you come to our event tomorrow. Anybody that's in the area, come and help out. You come even bring a present, or bring your kids to have to receive gifts. We're going to be at Calvary Chapel in South LA tomorrow from 4 to 6. Come on out and join us.
It's gonna be
We'll out
fun.
there.
It's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We'll be hanging out. It'll be cool.
Go ahead and do our spot and have our last little word from our sponsor.
Yes, sir. Yeah, let me get that in there. Let me get that in there. All right, here we go.
Hi, this is Kathy DeHart with DeHart Construction Services, located right here in the Inland Empire. You know, we're a family-owned business, and today our youngest member of our family is visiting. Kinsey, can you say hi?
Hi.
Now, Kinsey, I have an important question for you. Where do you think food comes from?
A market store?
You're right. But before it gets to a market, we have farmers and dairies and all kinds of other people who make food. Do you remember hearing that?
Uh-huh.
And then we have people who have to keep the food cold.
And guess what?
What?
I remember we getting strawberries at a litter market.
Well, Papa and I, we work with companies that make food and keep food cold and gets it to the grocery stores.
That's cool.
DCS is a proud supporter of the American Dream. For all of your cold storage or food facility needs, visit our website at chillwithdheart.com. Once again, chillwithdheart.com. Serving all of California, CSLB 949062.
Thank you so much, DeHart Construction, for having faith in us and for helping us to continue to reach Latinos. Thank you. Everybody go check them out.
God bless you guys. Take care.
God bless you guys. Merry Christmas.